this year probably, or properly, if you will. We're diving into all the big dramatic matchups for Sunday. My New Year's Eve team, LaDainian Tomlinson and Steve Smith Sr. So you know what that means. No filter. But before we get into all the 2021 storylines, let's check in on the latest news from around the league. Our NFL insider Ian Rappaport joins us now. Ian, you're getting some breaking news in right now that could affect this weekend's games.
Yeah, some crushing news for the Green Bay Packers. Star left tackle David Bakhtiari, one of the best in the NFL at his position and certainly one of the most important Packers on their team, blindside protector for Aaron Rodgers, is believed to have suffered a torn ACL, a season-ending knee injury. This according to a source informed of his situation. This happened today at practice. He popped up on the injury report, was limited, no further details, but now I am told season-ending knee injury for David Bakhtiari. Obviously, going into this game against the Bears, it is certainly something that it creates a huge hole for them. But even more so, going deep into the playoffs, this is a player who signed a 4-year, more than $105 million contract extension, the most in the NFL for a left tackle, and now out for the season for the Packers.
Wow, Ian, so they'll have to make adjustments for Sunday and for January football as well. Well, COVID-19 also continues to hit the country, of course, very hard. The NFL, no exception there. The Dolphins will be without Ryan Fitzpatrick on Sunday. What else is going on with the team?
Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick tested positive for COVID-19, was at practice fully yesterday, was not there today, and a couple hours ago placed on the COVID-19 reserve list. He is out not only for Sunday, but potentially for the playoffs, just because if you test positive, it is 10 days minimum, depending on when their playoff game is. Is it next Saturday, next Sunday, if they make one? Could potentially be out there. Tua Tagovailoa is still going to start, but Fitz obviously has come out of the bullpen and helped them so often. Meanwhile, for the Cleveland Browns, the COVID-19 issues continue. They had a couple key defensive members placed on the COVID-19 reserve list today. They had Denzel Ward and Malcolm Smith. Smith, the linebacker, obviously that's a loss, but Denzel Ward, one of the best-known corners in the NFL. Meanwhile, the Browns, who of course have had COVID-19 issues for the last week, do get back all of their, basically their entire receiving core, including standout receiver Jarvis Landry. All those guys are clear.
All right, Ian Rappaport, as always, working down to the last minutes of the year. Ian, thank you. And let's take a look here at the AFC playoff picture. Now, if the playoffs started today, the Dolphins would be in, so would the Ravens and the Browns, but unfortunately for those teams, the postseason does not start today. Seeds 4 through 7 all on the line this weekend. Let's bring in the guys. Here they are, LaDainian Tomlinson, Steve Smith Sr. Guys, thank you for joining me on this New Year's Eve edition of NFL Total Access. LT, I'm going to start with you here. How do the Browns avoid the mistakes that they made last week when they lost to the Jets?
Well, MJ, I certainly don't like the fact that Denzel Ward just went on the COVID list. They need that guy. He's one of the best young corners in the National Football League. But I think if you're the Browns, you have to still feel confident in what you have done this season. I love what Kevin Stefanski has done with that football team. They are riding high. And just look at even last year, they actually split with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the game that they won was against Mason Rudolph, the guy that they're going to face on Sunday. So they should feel good about the game plan. Oh, yeah, and remember who the coach was last year? Freddie Kitchens. Now they have a better coach who's going to come up with a better game plan. I still like the Browns in this matchup, even though there's not going to be any Denzel Ward. I think they find a way to get it done.
Well, LT, I want to agree with you, but one of the things that is hard to glance over is week 6 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and understanding that Coach Stefanski must not put all of the burden on Baker Mayfield. When they do that, when he is zoned in and just looking in between the hashes, he struggles. The first play against the Pittsburgh Steelers in week 6, it was a pick 6 and it was a touchdown. So if they can run the ball, which that's who they are, make no bones about it, they are a run-first offense. And if they continue to be a run-first offense, that allows Baker to be successful in between the hashes, but also outside of the hashes, and that is where he can excel. He's excelled since week 6 moving forward. Obviously, against the Jets, that's not the performance that you want, but they were short-handed because of pretty much all of their wide receivers that they planned on playing in the game with. Couldn't play. They had to play with guys who were on practice squad who were not supposed to be in that game. So if they can make those adjustments, they will be fine heading in there with Mason Rudolph.
You know, guys, what I keep thinking about is that Browns loss last week. Baker Mayfield's post-game press conference, he was so upset, more so at himself than anything else. Got to see if he can sort of use that to really handle his business on Sunday this week. All right, guys, thanks. Let's take a look, though, now at the NFC playoff picture. The Packers playing to clinch that #1 seed in the NFC. The Bears playing to clinch a playoff berth. Let's take a closer look because that is our Total Access game of the week. So this is how the Packers and Bears compare when they go head-to-head in Week 17 matchups. Green Bay, 5-0 all-time against the Packers in Week 17 games. The Packers also have more points per game and total yards per game when they face Chicago at the end of the regular season, you guys. The year started with QB1 questions over in Chicago, you guys. And Steve, I want to ask you this. Is Mitch Trubisky in a position now to upset the Packers now with the playoffs on the line?
The way the Bears are making a conscious effort in running the football, that allows the Matt Nagy offense, who likes to sprinkle with a whole bunch of misdirection and trick plays, that allows Mitch Trubisky and the defense to really open it up in the pass game. But if they can continue to keep running it, it gives them a fighter's chance against now a injured backside for the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers.
All right, and we saw what's at stake for each of these teams. Top seeding for the Packers and a playoff berth for the Bears here. So, LT, how motivated are the Packers now to really lock in home field advantage throughout the playoffs?
Oh, they're very motivated. They have to feel ultra confident. I mean, honestly, the only chance the Bears have at winning this game if Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams don't show up to the game. Like they just missed the bus or something, they don't show up. You know, that's the only chance the Bears got. Because you've seen the way this team has played the last few weeks. They are riding high. They're on the top of at the top of their game. And, you know, at this point, I think Aaron Rodgers, think about before the season, we were all talking about, man, Aaron Rodgers has a chip on his shoulder. They drafted this young quarterback. He's going to come out on fire. And guess what? He has. So he has a point to prove. He wants to dominate everybody that he plays against. And the Bears are the next team in line to be dominated by Aaron Rodgers.
Listen, nobody's missing that bus. They have their game day drip already laid out.